What's up, Scar Knight, bringing you the Pokemon Sword and Shield news information. This is the second breakdown trailer video, if you want to consider it a trailer. This is Pokemon Direct, June 5th, 2019, and it shows new Pokemon, new information, and the announcement date, which is November 15th, where they'll show the double package on. It didn't really say the price, but a lot of amazing stuff went down, and there's also a secret within the game that nobody's talking about, so we'll get down to that when it gets there. So of course the trailer starts off by showing this town right here. I don't know if we already saw this town before in the last trailer. It looks a bit different considering that the houses are shaped differently, but there's the train there, so I think I know where this is on the map. I will do a map breakdown at some point. But right here we see the industrial city, though, where there's a Pokemon to the left is the pre-evolution of Serena. I'm forgetting the name at the moment, but there you go. There's the name editing mode. And I also showed this other town, which I know it hasn't been seen before. There's a different angle at least. It might be that town where it might be royalty involved, but interesting perspective with the. I don't even know what to call it, honestly. I'm not really sure what that's called, but it's a really good looking town. And then we see the trainer in the pan view going up against this guy, which is announced to be the rival. His name is Hop. And the thing about Hop is he turns out that he's taken out a Sobble, and with the main character having a Grookey, which means he is those friendly rivals that has the Pokemon that is weak against the other Pokemon. So interesting enough. And then we see Scorbunny, because we have to have Scorbunny in here. So yeah, it shows right here Grookey versus Sobble. I wish it wasn't the case. I wish the rival was like the one in the past where like it's Gary and Silver and possibly Barry. But this rival is kind of promising, to be honest, especially with what the stories announced for this. We'll get to that as well later. We see all the 3 stars right here. This is probably the cutscene on where you choose your starter. With the good old fist bump right there. Oh, I'm gonna love doing that to a Scorbunny. I just hopefully that it's gonna be great evolutions. Because the thing is, they didn't even show the second or third evolutions in the game. Interesting enough. But it does look like it is gonna be outside that house from the faraway lake laboratory. In this part we see them going to that house I'm referring to, and there's actually if you look closely, there's actually a trainer that's just waiting there right before he's gonna just jump him completely and battle him. That's not really fair, but oh well. It's just interesting enough they said that there's one of the rivals, so who knows if there's gonna be more than one for him to face. So interesting enough. I don't know, it might just be him though. Right here is a different place that we haven't seen before with 3 Digletts, or possibly a Duck Trio, who knows. I think it's 3 Digletts because they're pretty far apart. This type of temple sanctuary looks really cool. And we see the girl character going down the industrial city. I wish there was a name for this so I could stop calling it that. And then we see a new character there. This right here is the professor's assistant. It is the granddaughter of the main professor, what we'll see in a second. And there she is. And that's the grandmother, which both of them study something that we'll get into a little bit later. We'll get into that. In this house, it's interesting because we did mention earlier that there was a bunch of plant life like within the little capsule thing. And we see a lot more here, so it's interesting enough. There's some plant to the right, some of them hanging down on the corner, on the table. There's some vegetables and stuff in that other corner. Really interesting that she has this. She really cares for agriculture. And yeah, it's with the rival and the main character, if you were to choose the girl, that is. We see the character going up in the grass, going up against Pokemon. Who knows what it's gonna be. And these are new Pokemon right here. These new Pokemon are amazing with the grass type Pokemon. We'll get into all of them in a second. Actually, I might as well do it right now. So the grass type to the left is called Gassiflor, if I'm pronouncing that right. It is known for have healing properties with the flower on its head, and it does evolve something, but we'll get into that a little bit later. There's also the sheep Pokemon in the middle named Wooloo, which is interesting considering there's a Mareep and a Skiddo, you know, out there in nature. Wooloo is gonna be the first route normal type Pokemon. By the way, Gassiflor is just solid grass type. And then the one in the right is called Dreadnought. It is a water rock type, which is really interesting. I thought first glance that I already knew the first one's gonna be grass and then this one's gonna be normal, but I thought that one to the right, I have dragon vibes from it. It is I also thought it was gonna possibly be like rock steel, but it's just water rock. I mean, it is a turtle after all, but most turtles, you know, some of them are displayed saying that they are only solely on land, but it's interesting enough. Dreadnought is known to bite steel, and it could, you know, rip it off, and it later on could be hard to train. But these are the three Pokemon. It looks really promising. Wooloo almost has like a hint of pink in there. I didn't even say what the description was. It says that its wool is made, you know, it's applied, and just, you know, just basically people use Wooloo's wool, which is really cool. We see Gassiflor use leafage. Hopefully I'm not mispronouncing her name wrong, but there's that. We see Dreadnought biting the Score Bunny right here, and then we see the trainer catching Wooloo, and we also see like a type of Pokemon to me, or you know, we just the petting your Pokemon thing on Sobble right here, and I see like a little camp thingy in the corner, which is interesting. The next clip is this trainer who's wearing overalls. It might be a farmer of some type, or maybe if it's not a farmer, it might be some type of painter. I'm not really sure. I'm willing to bet farmer though. Go up also against this girl that has like a blue jacket. This might be the girl trainer of the thing. There's also like a construction worker within the mines that we saw last time. Interesting enough though, because it's at the same exact spot as we saw last time, except now they added him, which that's what I thought, like they were gonna add NPCs later onward. And we see this karate guy by like this Arctic place. Interesting too, because he has like a blue suit, and that symbol on him almost resemble like the Poke Gem symbols from before. Also has a red headband, and underneath the black belt he has like some type of white symbol. I don't really know what that is. And he has a sock. Not like a literal sock, but whatever. He has the main character, a new Pokemon that we have not seen. This is Corviknight. This is probably one of my favorite ones that we've seen so far. It is Flying Steel type, primary flying. This bird Pokemon is actually 7'3". It's a very tall bird, which makes me think it is not a first stage evolution. It might be a second or third stage evolution. I don't think this is obtainable and early in the route, but this Pokemon is able to, like whenever you go to a new town or area or wherever, if there's a Corviknight there, you could go take it and go back to a previous town that you've been to before, which is really freaking cool. And right behind him you see like a sign showing what routes are where, which is cool. Hopefully I'm showing the right picture, but you know, still cool nonetheless. But yeah, the reason I don't think also Corviknight won't be available straight off the bat, like if there's a trainer that has it, Grookey, if you chose Grookey, is going to be completely walled by it, and that's a problem. I mean, I guess unless, like, the only thing that I think could be a solution is if they gave him Grookey some type of fighting move as a TM, like Break early onward. Other than that, I'm not really sure. It is using some type of flying move, which I'm not really sure what it is. It could be Brave Bird, or perhaps it could be Sky Attack, or just a completely new flying move in general. This next clip right here shows of the trainer looking at most of the towns right here outside the industrial town, with the Wobbuffet in the grass and a Beware. like a female Wobbuffet specifically, which is interesting, and like 2 other Wobbuffets that are male. Hippopotas in the grass, which is interesting because it's a desert Pokemon, but this is dry grass after all. And another interesting one, there's a Snover in this grass, but it is hailing at least. A Rhydon through the desert, and another Corviknight just randomly flying through. And then this place, which shows ghost Pokemon, one of them being Golurk, the other one being Duskull. And I'm not really sure what's that back there. Hang on, let me slowly look at what that possibly could be. It might be just a Ghastly, actually. And judging by like the purple, like the way it moves, it's interesting. A Gyarados in the water with the Jellicent behind it. Butterfree flying through with some little Stuffles over there. A Mudsdale on this one with the trainer running through. And it looks to be outside that same spot where the trainer was standing in earlier. And this part where the trainer's going a lot closer to it with the Seismitoad just casually walking by through the rain. And this route right here, which I'm willing to bet is where the Hippopotas are found. You just see a random Tyranitar there, which is awesome because I know that in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, you could catch a Dragonite pretty easily. So it's cool that finally you could catch these things out here in the wild, which is really dope. This one makes no sense to me. There's a random Avalugg in the grass. I know it's hailing and all, but I mean, I haven't seen that much snow besides that Arctic place. But it's cool, I guess. It's just a random Avalugg. Right here I just see a random Halucha just standing there. That's hecka weird. Actually didn't notice that before. Besides riding your bike, you got this bike suit, but besides that, you have this water cycle thingy. It's like a water bike with the Milotic there and a Mantine. That's really cool. And there's that town with the weird, I don't even know what to call that again. They're like, I'm just gonna call them platforms. I'm not even sure what they are. Well, was that a Mantike? I'm gonna have to pause these so you guys all could see everything, because everything's going so fast for me. Like I'm actually watching the trailer back as I'm doing this. But we see the next one where the main character is fishing for something, and besides fishing for something, we don't actually see what it pulls out. But the next one is the trainer knocking down some berries off a tree. And it does say later on where that the camera could be changed in perspective for you to do whatever you want, pretty much. If you want to see what's behind you or any items around or whatever, which would be a lot easier because there might be a potential chance of free roaming. There's going to be this vast world that you could just go to, just like Breath of the Wild, which is going to be interesting. You see the trainer calling for Pokemon outside the grass, which is interesting. And you see like a Stuffle walking past. And then we see this thing. This is probably the new feature on what, like, similar to X and Y and Sun and Moon. We see these red beacons. There's like 5 on the screen so far, which is really interesting. Because about these beacons, as you can see, the trainers are going towards there. There's multiple trainers, and what this is called is a raid battle. And there's like a Gyarados that's gigantic on the screen. You see the trainer sending out a Raichu, and you see these other trainers sending out their Pokemon, which we see a Meowstic, a Flygon, and a Golurk. Now there's these weird 3 clouds on his head, which is interesting. And this Gyarados looks ferocious on its own. I mean, it naturally looks like that, but there's also, besides the red clouds on its head, you kind of see like almost like this red force field underneath it with something slowly getting off of it. We see Flygon trying to attack it and Golurk trying to attack it, and it's kind of protected by something, so it might be in max defense or some type, or maybe you have to just break some type of shield that it has. But besides that, we see Gyarados using some type of water move with the trainers using some type of protect. So maybe both parties have some type of shield that they have to break down before attacking Pokemon. I'm not really sure, but it's kind of interesting that they kind of incorporated Totem Pokemon and like just basically boss battles at the same time in a different way. I didn't want to say what I was gonna say, but I'll hold on to that thought in a second. But we see Golub get absolutely demolished there. And right here is really interesting, where you might have noticed it earlier, but there's something on the trainer's wrist, which at first when I saw it, I thought it was going to be some type of mega evolution. I'm not technically wrong here, but we see that the trainer returns the Raichu and the bracelet's reacting. And the way it reacts is that the bracelet shoots out and it goes into the Pokeball, and the Pokeball becomes a much more bigger Pokeball that looks like a disco ball, and it sends out a gigantic Raichu that has the same properties, with the same 3 red clouds on the top, with the same things coming out from the bottom, and like red storms going back and forth, which is really cool. And you see Raichu absolutely destroy Gyarados with the thunder. And the trainer throws this disco ball at Gyarados trying to capture this thing. And it's cool too because the Pokeball crashes down and it tries to capture it. It didn't show the capture fully, but the next clip shows of the grass gym that we see. We all knew it was a grass gym. I mean, I already knew that. I was just teasing the last video saying, oh, it could be, I don't know, green wind or something. But no, everybody knew it was going to be grass type. We see the gyms with the logos and everything. Earlier before I said there's going to be some type of team battles. That's what I thought it was going to be, because it made no sense for people to gather to watch this event if it's just a regular Pokemon gym battle, because in the other games people don't really care too much. It's like I said in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, only a few people would go and then more would come afterwards, but there's nothing to this extent where you just see a whole bunch of people seeing this. But there's a reason for this. Now we know what the reason is. We see a whole bunch of people wearing green, and of course it is the grass type gym, so they're representing their team. And we see the trainer. Interesting enough, this trainer has 6 Pokeballs on both sides, and he's holding like some type of I don't even know what that is. It almost looks like fidget spinners, but we see a whole bunch of advertisement too, just like it would be in football coliseums, showing off the berries. So people are speculating too that berries are going to be enforced by mixing ingredients from other Pokemon, specifically what you caught, or maybe if you just found it off the ground, and it would be used for your Pokemon to benefit them. But yeah, this is the trainer. This trainer's been introduced, and his name is Milo. As we see, I mean, there's no soccer thing here, but it's really cool. He has a big old hat, and he does not have a nose. Please do not tell me he's going to be in the anime. I have a feeling, now that I think about it, that he's going to be like a side character, because there's always something about the first gym leaders, besides second and third and fourth, and I guess most gens. So god dang it, if he goes in the anime, I'm gonna flip out. But he has a green scarf and he is in shape. But as you notice, there's something on his wrist. Oh dang, hint hint. It is interesting that the main character has like a special glove, and so does he. It just kind of has like a good feeling towards it. I didn't notice this before, but there's like some type of green thing. This is a camera. So I guess this is displayed worldwide, which I now I'm remembering, the guy did mention it. So they have these drones pretty much. Are these Rotom drones? Is that what it is? Because I didn't notice it before. I wasn't thinking too much on it. Whoa, wait. Let me actually clip this right. Oh no, they're just regular drones. Okay, I see them now. But we do see like the special Pokemon, which is interesting. I'll introduce that in a second. I thought for a second that was going to be a Rotom, just the way it was shaped and all that. But speaking of, there was something else I almost forgot. There was also the Rotom cell phones that was displayed. So it is interesting, and I'm glad that they're giving more love to Rotom. But nonetheless, the camera pans over, and I do notice just one-on-one Pokemon. And both trainers are putting these two things together and getting out their giant Grookey and this other Pokemon, which I didn't say anything, but this is what it is. It is called Eldegoss, It is also a pure grass type. This is what is evolved from the previous evolution, Gossifleur. And just in case you are wondering what this is, this giant red thingy with the 3 clouds and all, this is called Dynamax. Dynamax is a state where you could get your Pokemon to be gigantic and it lasts for 3 turns. You could have max defense, max attack, and you could just decide to do any of these things. And it'll go all out on that attack that you give it, which is really interesting. And we see Grookey going for, I don't even know what this move is, honestly. For Eldegoss, it's interesting too because this attack is almost a bit different. Because you see his seeds missing here, because they had seeds before. So this might be a new attack. It'll be like some type of bullet seed, but it spreads out more. So I don't know, seed blast. I'm not really sure. And Grookey also is doing like a different type of attack. It's almost like it's charging up almost like a solar beam, I think. But then it goes to a different attack that looks more like a bullet seed. And if I'm looking closely, and there's another attack that Eldegoss is doing that's showing some type of green mushroom attack. I'm not really sure what that one is at all. It could be just Leech Seed for all I know. And then we see Sobble attacking. Looks like some type of water gun. And we also see Scorbunny in the next one doing some type of flamethrower, except it's coming specifically from the ears, which is interesting. I don't think it's Flamethrower, and I don't think it's Ember. It's probably a new fire move, maybe like Fire Beam, something that's not as strong. It's like a Leafage for grass type. It's like a medium fire move, something stronger than Ember. But we see it on here, and it's being attacked on that Eldegoss. In the next clip, we see this trainer that looks like royalty. He has a great cape with some fur on it. And he has a Charizard in the background. That trainer is known as Leon. He is the best trainer in all of Galar. He is the champion of the region. And it's really interesting that they're showing him straight off the bat, which is really freaking cool. And we know he has a Charizard. I don't know if he's going to be a mix trainer, being not specific to a specific type, or if he has a theme where he has all night Pokemon, but it's interesting nonetheless. We do see this town that they didn't show before because the 2 guys started talking, and then we see this, a whole bunch of Wooloos just all over the frickin' place with some Butterfrees flying everywhere. And there's that house, so this is the first town definitely, because there's that windmill from before. And there's like a little training battlefield there too. So that might be the rival's house if anything. I don't think that's the main character's house, because that might be the first cutscene in the game. You also see a Pokemon Center in the background, and like that tower over there, and a windmill. That's cool. We see a different perspective on this house, and it really shows more of the agricultural side to it, because we didn't see this angle where there's like a whole bunch of plants outside. Whole bunch of plants. Jesus, this woman likes to plant. We see a different angle over here as well, where I'm saying it's the same house. I'm guessing that is the rival though. I don't think it's our place. It could be, but who knows, because I don't think the main character would have the battlefield straight off the bat, especially since we seen our house already and it had like steps to the right, and the house is already to the right, so I don't really know. We see this house over here with the whole more bunch of plants, so they truly do care about agriculture here. We see like a Gossifleur right there, and a little girl on the left side, and some type of harvester. And we see like the grass gym on the background too, so this is definitely the first gym. Maybe the professor and the professor's assistant is related to Milo. I don't know. But there's interesting connections here. We also see the inside of this place, where this guy looks hilarious to me. This guy does not even have a 5 head. This is a -6 head right here. Or -6 head, but that would be backwards. Never mind, it's not important. But there's a Badoo right there on the desk. And that's pretty much it. We see this Why Not walking across the Olympic logo right here. with the same little girl and then a different boy character. 2 other people on the right Pokemon Center there, so this is the industrial town. Some type of lighthouse. We also see Grookey going up against a Pancham in the corner right here of the screen. I kind of zoomed it in so you won't see like the guy talking. He's using like some type of wood hammer attack. I'm not really sure what this is. It could be a whole different move, but it looks like a straight up wood hammer, so I don't know. We do see a Grubbin. It might be from the last one. We see the face off with the main character Milo here. Different camera angle. So I'm wondering if it's just a straight up one-on-one battle with Milo, because when I first saw this, I'm all thinking maybe it's just like 2 on whatever the main character decides to catch. Like I thought he was gonna have the 2 Pokemon with Gossifleur and Eldegoss, but it might just be that, because this looks cutscene-y, and cutscene, it's a made-up word, but this looks cutscene oriented, so it might be just straight up giant battle. I don't know. But yeah, this is what I mean. Because it added in Dynamax, it adds the Totem Pokemon and it also has the Gym Battle Pokemon, which is why I stopped myself, because we didn't get to the gym portion yet. But it's interesting nonetheless. Right here on these clips, they show all the Pokemon off and they talk about them similar to what I said, with Wooloo having the Fluffy ability, which I guess is with Stuffle and Beware. I didn't know this because I never used them. But Fluffy, it like reduces the damage if it's contact, and it has more damage on a long range fire attack, so essentially Wooloo's weak to fire, which makes sense, I guess. And they're also showing some things with Gossifleur, saying that it prefers clean air, and the other thing that I already said before with the pollen having special healing properties, so it's definitely going to be a support mon of some kind. We already talked about Dreadnought, with the most experienced trainers could only take care of it. So me, on the other hand, I'm just kidding. And we also see like him facing off against a Gigalith, which is cool. He's like literally biting him, and like a different view of him walking normally in the canyon side. And then Corviknight. This probably is one of my favorite ones. Steel flying, like I already mentioned, it's a Raven Pokemon. That's so dope. It's cool too, because I almost completely forgot about Murkrow and Honchkrow. So it's cool that they have another. I mean, this is a Raven though, so that is cool. And there's like a different clip of it. So like I said, you could use them pretty much like a taxi to go from a previous sign that you already visited. It's good that they're taking off HMs, but yeah. Here they're introducing the Eldegoss by name, showing off the evolutions. So the way the evolution is pretty cool. Pretty highlighted. Cotton Bloom Pokemon Eldegoss. We see this clip right here of the trainer looking at the lake side, if you want to call this a lake, with some more red beacons just randomly throughout the lake as well. So I might put this clip instead. A different angle of it. Yeah, this is actually a better one. There's like 4 of them on screen, dude. Holy jeez. There's a lot more views on like the beacons that are available. And like, I think that's a Stuffle down there again. Maybe something else, I don't know. It's a good open view of the bridge. I might have already shown this off, but I mean, at least there's a Corviknight flying by. A random Snorlax walking in the hailstorm by the bridge. Cool, outside the industrial town. And there's like a different angle on the Gyarados and Jellicent here, but at least we have a Wingull on the side. Oh, we already seen all these other ones, but there's a Steelix right here by that bridge. There's a lot of Pokemon there. And this is like the kind of the desert, and the other side has mostly grass. I'm definitely going to do a breakdown video soon. This one shows a Braviary flying with the dead trees all around. I think this is the one with the Tyranitar in it. This is late game, it seems, because all these Pokemon evolve super late. See the trainer running over there? We see the trainer by Butterfree, and then whoa, I think I saw like a Bunnelby there. Trainer looking at a Braviary flying past at the pretty much the same area. The girl cactus fishing here. So here they're introducing Dynamax, which is something that I completely forgot to mention, but when you go into a red beacon, not only could you do something called raid battles, which I kind of mentioned with the other trainers that you could do, but it also depends on the weather, and if you have defeated the Dynamax Pokemon, you could have different Pokemon that are stronger later onward in that same beacon, or obviously other beacons too. We also see like the screen right here showing off like the Dynamax selection, and the symbol's interesting. The symbol's super interesting to me. And we also see the moves Thunderbolt, Ice Screen, Brick Break, and Quick Attack, which more likely is the Raichu. I'm guessing you get a Dynamax Pokemon before the first gym, which is interesting. We also see the selection right here when I was talking about. So whatever moves that you have displayed, similar to what you do with Z moves, you'll have these options once you're Dynamaxed already, like Max Lightning, Max Guard, Max Knuckle, and Max Strike. Which the moves before, if you were looking at them, was again Thunderbolt, Ice Screen, Brick Break, and Quick Attack. So because of that, if there was Brick Break and Thunder move, they're showing Max Lightning and Max Knuckle. So primary electric and primary fighting. Now that I think about it, now that I'm saying it out loud, Grookey's probably only using his Max Grass move, whatever it may be called. But Eldegoss might be specifically named because of that Dynamax. Like, you know how Pikachu and Eevee has a specific Z move? Maybe there's a specific Dynamax move for just the gym leader's Pokemon. So yeah, this is the Wi-Fi battle. We see Gyarados doing his max water, or whatever it is. But yeah, after 3 turns, he'll revert back to his normal self. But I'm wondering if the normal Dynamax Pokemon just stay throughout the whole match. Like, you have to defeat them, but your Dynamax Pokemon is just 3 turns. I have a feeling that's the case. Like, Dynamax Pokemon that are just found in the wild stay that way. But we see all these other beacons here. We see that town with the platforms. We see a different angle of these beacons throughout the trees and stuff. And a different customized character here with that route with all those dead trees where the Braviary and Tyranitar is found. And another customized character here. So hint hint, you can customize your character. Some more beacons here, and we see all these trainers going around this red crystal beacon where you go into raid battles against what appears to be a Dynamax Weavile. Except this time we see like the main character using Beware and the other one Golurk and Flygon Meowstic, because I'm pretty sure before it was just Raichu and Gyarados. So Weavile has like some electric around it, which is cool. But yeah, that's what I'm confused about. It's like the whole shield thing. And Weavile is able to attack all the characters, which is cool. But yeah, here we see the giant Beware, the Dynamax Beware. I'm wondering how is it possible to Dynamax your other Pokemon, but that's what must be Max Knuckle. I think that's what it looks like. And right here we see it says Weavile is weak, throw a Pokeball now. I don't think we saw that from before with Gyarados, but it shows you the option whether you want to catch it or don't catch it, which is interesting. So maybe it gives you the chance. Like, I'm wondering if it's like a sturdy thing. Like, if you were to attack the Pokemon and like let's imagine like Fissure or something like that. If you Fissure the Pokemon and it gets to that low health, would it just immediately kill it, or would it hang on and give you the option to catch, and if you don't catch it, it gets knocked out? I wonder if that's the case. But right here we see like a giant Clefable, a Dynamax Clefable on screen, and a giant Dynamax Dugtrio. That's pretty dope. And that's the Quagsire I was talking about. I thought I saw him sooner, I don't know why, but spoiler, yeah, Dynamax Quagsire, which is awesome. So since it's depending on the weather, that's really interesting to me. I mean, I know that Pokemon Go depending on the weather it is, because we've seen that Snover shows up when it's hailing and Avaluggs and stuff like that. But it makes sense for some Pokemon to go over there because it depends on how they evolve. Like Steelix shows up there because maybe the magnetism is different on whatever the case. I don't know. That's something I don't know related to weather with magnetism. But like if it rains, like I can imagine why Sligoos would want to go over there, you know, and then you'll see like a Dynamax Goodra. That makes sense to me, you know. Right here they're introducing the characters, and here's Leon doing a pose outside some house that has a bunch of plants, so I'm guessing this is the first gym area. Here's Hop outside probably his house. And then we see Leon over here with the professor. And another thing is, they announce right here, Hop is actually related to Leon, which makes sense why Leon is here, because he's proud that his brother's starting on his journey. Now we see that one place where the plants behind those capsules, which what I'm really interested in, and we see a whole bunch of bugs down on the bottom. Now they announced that the professor is actually studying Dynamax, which confirms, because she's studying Dynamax, it's been out for a very long time, which is where my theory begins. In a second, I'm gonna get over that in a little bit. We see Leon over here. This might be like a cutscene from like a battle that he had on a TV camera, and outside that same building that I mentioned earlier. And this is a different clip of him. Can't really tell what town it is, but I'm pretty sure someone could tell. This might be Route 1, because I see houses in the corner. You know, it's weird that he's wearing shorts and tights at the same time. I don't know, and this is me. And his Charizard's right next to him. I feel like I said everything too soon. Like, I'm all like, oh yeah, and this is Hop, and then this is this, and this is that. But right here is really interesting. It shows a cutscene, and these are the Rotom cell phones, by the way. But it's really interesting that you take place in a train. So my thing is, do you go to the industrial town immediately after the first town, like right after the grass gym? Because it's interesting that you go there with your rival. That's suspicious to me. Right here is the same one that I showed earlier with Leon with the professor, and then you and your rival are there too. So it's a little bit added, you know. I see that Professor Magnolia, which is her name by the way. I didn't know this, so they popped it up. I forgot. But she has a habit of rotating her glasses. I don't know what to call that. Like there's something on the end of her glasses that keeps it on her face. The little band things. She's twirling it around. And then her assistant, which is named Sonia, who also does the same thing except with her hair. Interesting that they share the same habits here. So now it makes sense why they have a big old stadium for this and why people want to see this. All the gym leaders have Dynamax Pokemon. There's that grass move I was talking about with the mushrooms. They finally showed the whole of it. I have a feeling you could rematch this guy since he has 6 Pokeballs in his disposal. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The next one shows a trailer of something completely different. Like I said, I'm going to save that for another video. But in the meantime, there was a theory that I want to talk about. And the theory is, I think that Dynamax has been there for a while, because if Professor Magnolia has been studying it, and also her assistant's studying it, I'm guessing Dynamax's been there for a long time, for the whole Galar region to have these Pokemon displayed to them that are strong enough to conquer these things, and that the giant Pokemon that's on the wall displayed right here is the one that's causing this thing, because they're saying that there's some type of Dynamax like mystery going on here, that's why she's studying it. She's trying to find out where this phenomenon's coming from, and it has to be that giant Pokemon. For over how many years, I don't know, but I think there's something in this game that shows an outburst of it, something that's making it more of a problem, that's making the Pokemon more hostile. And it could be the evil team, which who knows, it might be a team called Team Dynamo or Dynamite or Dynamax by itself, like an evil team organization called Team Dynamax, that's making these Pokemon a lot more angrier. And their plan is to do world domination by capturing Pokemon, making a complete army out of them to do world domination, exploiting that giant's Pokemon power on having these red beacons displayed and affecting whatever Pokemon are there. I think that's what it is. I think because it has to be a thing where the giant Pokemon's roaming around, and you know, we see in the picture that obviously the people are scared, like it's summoning storms and is shooting lightning and all that stuff, and it's leaving some trace where it has its powers from how is the giant Pokemon or whatever, and it is affecting the other Pokemon to a point where they become giant as well. And that's where the story plot I think is happening, where it's getting more out of hand. And it's been so many years since this happened from the first time, and now it's being exploited, being used for the worst. So I think that's where it's going with that. And I don't know, I got a weird feeling about like the professor's assistant. I don't know, maybe it's because I watched one too many movies, but I got a bad feeling here where there's something that we're not seeing. But that's my theory. I think that's the dark truth. I think that's what's happening. I think there's a reason why those Pokemon are fighting back. They can't control this Dynamax power. It's getting stronger than before. Because on these other ones, clearly they could control it. Like you see Milo here with the freaking Eldegoss. I know maybe it's easier to tame or something, but that's why the Galar region has this special feature showing off these Pokemon Stadium battles with Dynamax Pokemon. It makes it a really big thing that's only in that region alone, and that's what makes it special, and that's why the fans really love those type of Pokemon battles, and that makes perfect sense to me. So yeah, the next video we're going to show the second part of the trailer, and we are also going to discuss on a whole bunch of other things, maybe more about the giant Pokemon, because there's so much mystery when it comes to that. So much mystery. But yeah, that's gonna be it. If you liked this episode, don't forget to press that like button. If you really liked this episode, please consider subscribing. Haven't considered subscribing yet? Please watch another one of my videos. I play the video games. Maybe you like playing video games, you might like my stuff. With that being said, like I said, in the next video, second part of the trailer, and that'll be it. White Tigers and Dragons to you, and you've been scarred by the night. I'm out!